Hi, welcome everyone. This is Dominique Godefroy. Thank you for joining Marlabs, sponsor Cyber Threat Hunting webinar. I encourage everyone to look us up at marlabs.com for information on the range of IT services we provide. We serve Fortune 100, 500 organizations, and medium-sized businesses. Today we are presenting the subject of threat hunting. We will focus on how threat hunting operation can be applied as an effective tool to fight cyber threat in an organization. But before we begin our session, let me introduce the speakers. I am your host, Dominique Godefroy. You can recognize my accent, but don't be fooled, I'm an American citizen with a French accent. I bring 25 years of experience from the financial service industry as the managing director for Société Générale in the Americas. I led many remediation, transformation program, process, and I was the lucky guy to manage the remediation program following the Jérôme Kervel incident in the bank back in 2008. Today, I manage cybersecurity and risk management practices at Marlabs. Also participating to the discussion panel, we have with us Bimojo Matthew, our threat intelligence security analyst.
Hey, folks.
And Jerin Joy, our information security operation analyst.
Hello, all.
Bimod and Jerin are responsible for cyber threat services and security operation at Marlab. Bimod and Jerin will speak about the threat hunting process and framework. And finally, we have Arum M, Information System Manager at Marlab.
Hey, everyone.
Arum will discuss about how threat hunting integrates with security operation and IRP operations. Now, let me share a little housekeeping before we get started. We will appreciate if you could take the next 5 minutes to answer a quick survey of 2 basic questions. This poll will help give us a sense of the challenges organizations face for running a cyber hunting operation. In addition to the poll, if you have any questions during the presentation, please type them into the question box in the webinar application control panel. We will bring them up at the end of the presentation. Without any further delay, let's get started. Here are some interesting high-profile figures on account security breaches across industry for the last 2 decades. The data highlights the breadth and depth of attack for the last decade. From millions to billions, the scale by order of magnitude tells us that attacks have become increasingly sophisticated. This trend may have started with a small insider job. I don't know if you remember back in 2012, the data broker Kurt Venture story, the hack story about Kurt Venture, which was a data broker subsidiary of Experian. This breach was one of the world's largest then, with a record of 200 million accounts compromised. A noticeable performance then. These figures have now been largely eclipsed, with the latest breach, notably with Yahoo in 2013, with over 1.5 billion records compromised. Now, if we look inside the data, we can observe that small hacks or exploits are increasingly becoming the norm, and small means the most powerful impact. We have observed that spam exploitation continues to be the largest source for breaches and also the highest cost to investigate. So, what is the takeaway from this? I would say that it was mentioned at the RCSA conference 2 weeks ago. Many of you probably attended. What was mentioned there, I remember a speaker was saying, thanks to the WannaCry crypto and the WannaCry ransomware, because now business executives have finally accepted that cybersecurity is a business steering activity, a necessary expense and a critical tool for any organizations. It is not a luxury to have, since nobody is immune to a cyber attack anymore. Okay, but what can we do about it, and what does it mean as it relates to threat hunting? Well, we can all appreciate how digital working has disrupted the information security conventional methods of managing and management, including how IT risk and control evaluate risk. The way we use technology, how data is accessed, and how network transactions are processed today, this provides the platform for hackers to plan, organize, and strategize their attack in a coordinated fashion. We have seen, and we are today seeing, and we will see forward, an increase of activity with cyber criminals, with their motivation is to work together and create together sophisticated, well-coordinated exploits that often are orchestrated in a decentralized fashion. Hacks are increasingly designed and planned following a game theory model. Let me repeat that because it's important. Hacks are increasingly designed and planned following a game theory model. So what do we mean by that? Well, the game theory model, if you look it up on Wikipedia, means what? Where the hack outcome depends not only on the hacker's own actions, but on the action of others. So what it means, hacks are no longer driven, orchestrated by a lone individual. As we expect more ransomware, more IoT-based attack. I don't know if you heard about the latest one. It was reported on BBC with an aquarium at a casino who had some IoT connection, and the hacker were able to infiltrate the entire casino through that IoT. Lucky for them, they were able, through their threat hunting process, to discover that threat before it became created significant damage. So as we expect more ransomware, more IoT-based attack, and more industry-specific attack, cyber threat hunting as a process become a handy solution to help contain and mitigate the risk. Cyber hunting provides added security surveillance capability, which I would say a three-dimensional look at the digital working of your organization. It assists as a function your security operation and strengthen your overall cybersecurity performance by bringing in a capability to protect, a new capability to protect your business. And this before a breach or warning even is detected. BMod, who is a specialist on the threat hunting, please elaborate for the audience and explain what is threat hunting.
Hey, Dominic, thanks for your introduction. So let's put our focus onto cyber threat hunting. So what exactly is cyber threat hunting? As Dominic mentioned, there are various approaches to solve the security challenges faced today. Now, how do we do this, right? So cyber threat hunting is an iterative search process through the data sets that is collected using our traditional security solutions. From a security standpoint, we all have our firewalls, our IDS, and other things, right? So now what we need to do is we need to collect all those data sets and do an iterative search process through those data to find those advanced threats that have evaded through our traditional security solutions. But keep in mind, this is a human-driven approach where analysts conduct this threat hunting. Analysts go and hunt for those threats. And there is no way we can completely automate threat hunting process. And threat hunting as a process, it is not something we are waiting for an alert to be fired from a solution. Rather, we will dive deeper and correlate those different various information we can collect to uncover those threats that is persisting in your environment. Now, how can we define the whole cyber threat hunting process? A cyber threat hunting process constitutes of 4 components, which are the creating of models, investigating, uncovering it, and improving the detection mechanisms. Let's take a deeper look into what it is. The foremost is, or the first one is to creating custom threat models, which means we are articulating a scenario for a potential threat. Now, once we articulate a scenario, we have solutions, as we said earlier, we investigate that scenario with our tools like SIM solutions or our packet capture solutions to uncover whether that model exists in your environment. Now, if there is such an incident, we have to find out what was the TTPs that was used in order to get that model there. The whole idea, why are we doing this? The whole idea is to improve our detection capabilities. So that we can better detect these threats upfront. Now, identified TTPs can use to enhance our detection capabilities. Let's see an example, right? So we have heard about this vulnerability, SNMP default string vulnerability that was published recently. So how can we include in our threat hunting process? So we articulated a scenario where SNMP default string could be used as an attack vector. And once we created that scenario, using our tools like SIM tools, IDS logs, and other logs, we investigated to see any of those packets contain those default strings. And we were able to identify those TTPs which was used, which was basically a misconfiguration of endpoint devices, and those vulnerability was present. So at the end of the day, what were we able to do it? We were able to accomplish or create new rules in our IDS system so that any SNMP faults created after that, we were able to identify upfront. Now, being said that, let's see from a SOC standpoint, Jarin, if you could explain, when should we initiate cyber threat hunting process?
Right. Thanks, Vimod. So, how do we approach our threat hunting operations? When do we actually initiate threat hunting operations, right? So different approaches could be either alert centered, that will be more reactive, and most of us are actually probably doing it already. So when we actually trigger our hunting operation based on, say, when we see a port scan event in our IDS system, or we see invalid login users attempt, like in our SIM solution, etc. So that's pretty much a reactive approach. The other approaches could be, a victim-centered approach. Pretty much, we classify our assets based on the business priority, and we built threat models on specifically on your trading system, your ERP system, and analyze the potential threat vectors so that you can build defense against those. So that's pretty much an internal focused approach. The others is the next approach is going to be externally focused. What is our adversary's capability? Say, how are they leveraging the latest or leveraging the vulnerabilities to actually plan an attack? Say, how do they leverage PowerShell to launch an advanced attack on your Active Directory infrastructure, sort of stuff? Then what are the C2C's command and control servers involved in the attack, right? So the better we understand the enemy's capability, the better we can protect our network, basically. So if the recent vulnerabilities like Drupal, also known as Drupal Gedon, there's a vulnerability and there's a campaign going on. And we can pretty much patch the environment, or we can pretty much put controls, detection mechanisms in our security analytics system to have better visibility, which will help us to execute or proceed with the threat hunting operations, right? So other approaches could be, if the more we are familiar with our socioeconomic environment, say, you might have already come across the IRS phishing campaign or other similar, scams going around with the natural disaster incidents, things like that. So, what I'm saying is the more we have an external threat to search capability from a threat intel standpoint, the better we can enhance our threat hunting operations. So, saying that, how do we, what are the skill set or what are the capabilities required to have a better or execute a better threat hunting operations, right? So you need to be familiar really, or you need to have a good understanding of your environment. What are we actually protecting? What are the assets? What are your top business critical assets? What is your environment, right? So that is a must to have a better threat hunt, or to have a better threat hunting approach, right? Then you need to have a hypothetical thinking, as Bimod mentioned. We need to, in order to create good rule set or models, we need to have a hypothetical approach. Say there is an attack vector targeting or exploiting this vulnerability, and your tech stack is exposed, and which has a vulnerable component, right? So you need to have a hypothetical thinking approach to come up with the defenses towards this attack vectors, right? And you need to have a statistical approach where you will always come across or you will find yourself in correlating events with timeline perspective when you do a forensic investigation, right? So all these can actually help you, or a SOC analyst armed with a good security analytics platform, right, can speed up their engagement. They can easily come up with, or they can save time in terms of coming up handling threats and responding to the threats, right? So now let's see why threat hunting is important. What is the significance? Why do we actually need it? I'm passing it to Dominic for you, please.
Yeah, thank you, Jorin. So in summary, what can we take away from that? In summary, from a cybersecurity point of view, we can all recognize that we are operating in a toxic environment, whether you are a hunter or you are hunted. As a function to protect the business, threat hunting enables you to protect some of your most important digital assets. It provides an understanding in real time of what is going on, and it helps focus your cybersecurity strategy to look at and protect the weakest link in your systems. The one things you don't know, you can have the one things, meaning what you don't know can already be exploited. So threat intelligence and cyber threat hunting really help support that. The risk is everywhere. Sometimes the risk is business accepted, sometimes remediated, sometimes transferred, or sometimes is just unknown. It is a fallacy to believe that you can stop all cybercrime, nor anyone can claim they can prevent self-serving abuses and fraud. But like hackers, regardless of the color of their hat, we have access to an arsenal and tools and techniques. Perimeter endpoint securities, network securities, application securities, data securities, all those are important, but they are no longer sufficient. Security technology of the future leverage now AI. You probably heard about Darktrace, one of the leaders today in threat hunting tools and threat intelligence. By the way, Marlab is a partner with Darktrace. So if you want us to come and do a proof of value free of charge, we could actually come and demonstrate in a 1 to 2 weeks period what threat hunting can do, and you could actually discover some anomaly that you don't know. So please call us. So threat hunting is all about the process of identifying potential fraud before a warning is raised. That's the simple definition of it. Threat hunting is a new cybersecurity operational activity that enhances your capability and better the overall efficiency of your information security activity. So let's now review what does this mean in context of a security operations when it comes to monitoring and response activity. Arun, please give us some insight.
Thank you, Dominic. Now let's talk about a SOC empowered with threat hunting. It's basically built with 3 components: intelligence, hunting, and response. These 3 complement each other on building a successful intelligence SOC. So what do we do? we collect data from various sources and analyze it to get meaningful information. This information are then queried by our threat hunting teams in order to provide a quality feedback, which eventually helps the incident response team. Now they have a deeper insight of the threat and the possible subsequences. So what's the basic difference between a traditional security solution and a cyber threat hunting? Former is reactive and latter is proactive. With cyber threat hunting enabled, you equip your SOC analysts to do repeated searches, correlate the alerts and attacks, and deep dive into the threat investigation. I'll just quote an example of an incident that happened in our SOC. So recently there was a Monero miner Trojan that infected one of our servers. With the traditional SOC, since we had the signature in place, we were able to alert the infection and necessary action was taken to clean up the server. But with threat hunting enabled, we identified that this was a financially motivated campaign which ran for like 2 months. The attacker actually exploited a vulnerability in a specific file share application and made it as a command and control server. We were able to identify all of the IOC servers associated with this threat and had the opportunity to voluntarily disclose it to the domain owners. Moreover, we were able to profile the threat actor and discovered some other campaigns run by him. So to conclude, these exercises helped us in augmenting our security posture by adding custom rules in our firewalls and security devices. With that said, I pass the presentation on to Dominic.
So to conclude on this topic, holistic cybersecurity is really an ecosystem. I would rather say an approach that integrates all elements and functions which are designed to safeguard an organization information system. This includes third-party security, which is becoming very, very important. So vendor, contractor, outsourced service, and maintaining a relationship with compliance and regulations. So when we are referring to all functions, we are talking about the perimeter security, the network security, the endpoint security, the application security, the data security, the prevention piece, which is more a governance area with the policy management, which basically drive your different endpoint and service security, and importantly, the operations that orchestrate and animate and manage all that. To conclude, the purpose of holistic security is really the continuous protection across all attack surface. This includes, as I mentioned, all the perimeter security, network, application, endpoint, operations, and policy management as well. So that's really what the hunting process fits into an overall framework. It is not a new tool like you are adding necessarily a new piece of technology. It is really a process. And we all know about this process. I've been doing cybersecurity for more than 20 years. It is a process of hunting that we have taken. Even 5, 6 years ago, we will do some cyber threat hunting, but it will be more on a discretionary basis. It will not be part of a comprehensive framework. It will not be treated and seen as part of the cybersecurity tools and techniques. So what we are seeing, and you guys are probably hearing, threat hunting or threat intelligence is becoming the smart way, I would say, to do cybersecurity. But let's not be fooled. It does not replace and will never replace the sound cybersecurity governance, including managing perimeter security, network security, and so on and so forth, as it pertains to your business, because every business is different, and as it is aligned, very important, to your risk strategy. Because cybersecurity, it is not in the business of just doing focusing on an information system and technology for security. It is the business of protecting the business, period. So let's now share the poll results and answer some questions. Okay, so I'm sorry, let's paddle back here a little. So the challenge, the question of the poll, what challenge do you foresee to conduct threat hunting operations? So clearly the response demonstrates that we are all convinced of the benefits of threat hunting operations. However, the direction, the way, the framework, the techniques, and how do you actually build up a threat hunting operations still work in progress and in constructions. And I agree with you. If I take these technology tools, capability in the industry today, you know, obviously you can go to Gartner to get the top 5, but practically speaking, based on our experience at Marlab, the only really interesting solution today, which is what it is, but not all complete, is Darktrace. Okay, we at Marlab have been actually using Darktrace for quite a while to manage the SOC operation of some of our clients in the financial space. What Darktrace is not yet doing, but I will believe that in the next few years they will mature, is they are just focusing right now on doing threat intelligence and threat collections at the network layer level. So, complementing your IDS and ICS type of solutions. But it is a good start, but it is not the end of threat hunting. So that's, lack of solution is clearly, I would say 10%, I would say 50% today, based on our experience. Lack of budget, clearly, you have to have a story. I remember when I was at Société Générale, I had to convince, and most of my struggle was not to actually execute cybersecurity services, was to convince my executive of the investment they had to do. And based on my success stories at SocGen, you have to tie up to the business. Us in technology are too often looking at bits and bytes and talking, cybersecurity to the business doesn't really mean anything. So you really have to look at your critical asset. You have to work with your compliance team, with your control team, so that it's a concerted decision, and you need the backup of legal compliance to justify why you're going to put a tool. And if your tool just protect and help you prevent breach is not enough. I'm sorry. The tools has to demonstrate regulatory compliance, has to help the compliance and the legal team and the risk management team tell their story. And threat hunting is a very good way to actually help toward that, because you are proactive. You are explaining what's going on in terms of behavior in your information system. So it is kind of an education as well for the executive. Let's go to the next
poll.
The next poll question. So the next poll question was, how do threat hunting operations are done today in your environment? And based on the result, okay, so threat hunting is part. So first of all, it's very good to see that you have integrated threat hunting as a function of your SOC operations. Is what it should be. It should not be seen outside of it. It is very correlated in terms of the activity as an input to your traditional SOC operation, and as an investigation as well from the output of your incident response. So that's a very good thing. A dedicated team that conducts threat hunting, yes. And yes, even at Marlab, we are still trying to understand where is the best setup in terms of team and organization. You have to understand that threat hunting is a very time research, detailed activity that requires hours and hours of analysis. We cannot just rely on artificial intelligence. We can rely on artificial intelligence for the modeling of the data, but you're still going to have to detail this data and make sense of it. So that's why it is a specific activity that requires specific skills in terms of technical skills, but importantly in terms of soft skills as investigation, curiosity, and things like that. and we are still learning. And finally, when I hear threat hunting operation does not exist, which is 37% of your response, you guys have a business case to present to your management. So because not to add more money, as you mentioned, I did not mention tools, I talk about process. So you may want to relook at your entire operations, and you could use threat hunting as a driver to present, your next budget and the value and all that. So that's really my quick and dirty take from the response, and I do hope this helps. I understand we had as well as some questions that were asked during the session. One of the questions is, what is your current threat intel solution? What platform do you use for threat hunting? So I'm going to ask Bimod to answer this question.
Hey, thanks, Dominic, for passing that question. I think that's a really good question to be considered because like Dominic or Jaren and Arun was mentioning, we have a lot of sources of information. So from a Marlab standpoint, for threat intel, Marlab has a proprietary platform. We call it Rapid 360. So that platform, what we do is we curate information from clear, deep, and dark web and make it something that makes sense to your environment. Like, there is a lot of data sources. But being said that, that's not the only source we use. We also use open source threat intel feeds like RTX, IBM X-Force, etc. So, but it just not answers one. You cannot just depend on one solution alone. It's like Dominic was mentioning, it's a combination of solutions what we have to depend on. But like I said, in our product, we are curating from multiple sources and then try to tie it towards your environment. There is a lot of problems out there, a lot of threat intel information out there, but what is that matters to your environment? That's what we are doing on our platform. On the other side, for threat hunting, like Dominic mentioned earlier, we use Darktrace basically for our east-west traffic, and then we use Nixon for north-south traffic and other SIM solutions. So it's not, like I said, it is important to understand that it is not just one solution, or like in the presentation I was saying, there is no one solution, there is no one completely automated solution that can be used for threat hunting. There is analyst hours, analyst has to sit and dig through the data, but these solutions can help in finding those threats or hunting those threats.
Yeah, to respond to Bimod's point, Darktrace today is clearly the leader, and you have to see what they've done. And if you look at the brand of Darktrace, they are the immunotherapy, I would say, of technology. Is what really Darktrace has done. Now, Darktrace today is very focused, based on the current tools capability, on perimeter security. So leveraging IDS, IPS, DLP, ICS, and so on. We would like to see more solutions going down the perimeter security. So the next point going to network security, endpoint security. And for me, I'm a CIRC ISACA certified risk professional. So I'm really looking at cybersecurity from a risk point of view. And for my point of view, the day we have a Darktrace-like tools that implement function for discovery and learning of pattern, the best value to me, it is not really at the data layer, but at the functional layer. Because based on my experience at least on financial industry, the behavior and the internal behavior change is really at the functional level. As you go through a pre-trade trading, post-trade operation, and risk management, all that, you need to have an holistic view of the functions and how they interact with one another, learn about that, and then if there is a change in behavior, you will detect that. I remember the Kervel fraud was started by a password sharing of password and basically modifying communications, so data sabotage. We all started with the very small things and became these big things, as you know. So When it comes to tools, I think the tools will are always implementing anyway a process or a functions. Based on the survey question, we can see the maturity is not there yet. So the real focus on threat hunting should be in your organization to actually establish the process, establish the activity, establish the function within your operations. Using the technology you have today, you can already start to do some correlations. It may be dirty, it may be not automated. That's easier to justify as a budget to your management than again bring another tool to your arsenal of solutions, and that's going to be challenged because your management is going to say, okay, another tool. Okay, so that's it. I want to thank you all for attending this webinar. If there is interest, we will certainly continue and expand on this webinar. Maybe with Darktrace, we could do one with Darktrace next time. It could be cool. So again, thank you for your time. I know you have a busy schedule, and I hope this webinar was informative to you. And don't hesitate to call us, contact us directly for follow-up. And as I say, we can come and do a proof of value of threat hunting for your organization free of charge, so we can demonstrate and walk the talk. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.